What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Ask Not Me Anything podcast. I'm here today with my guest, Dave Krugman, who is a photographer, a friend, also the founder of Allships.co, just an all-around interesting person, and I wanted to interview him for this podcast, so here he is today. And the way this podcast works is I crowdsource questions from my Instagram. So just yesterday, I posted Dave in my story, and I asked on my Instagram story, I'm like, hey, I'm with Dave, and ask him some questions. And I used that little ask questions panel on Instagram, and I got like about 100 questions, and I just picked like my top 20 questions, and all the questions that I picked, I'm shouting those people out. So thank you everyone for the questions, and let's get right to it. So I'm sitting here with Dave Krugman, my friend, fellow photographer. How you doing, Dave?
I'm doing really well.
Cool.
Yeah,
we're actually recording right here in Dave's building, so easy commute.
Yeah, this is extremely convenient for me. Anytime you need it, Jerem, I'll come downstairs.
Cool. Even came through with a SD card because I didn't bring one.
And a tripod. Don't forget.
Yeah, because we're recording video of this too.
Yeah.
So let's just jump right into it. At Corte asked, who is Dave?
Damn. The deep ones first.
Simple yet deep.
Who is Dave? I'm above all, I call myself like a creative. I'm interested in everything creative. And I'm interested in consuming creative things. And I'm also interested in like outputting creative things. And that's one of the things that about creativity is like your output is dependent on your input. It's like, I think my whole creative style and like aesthetic is kind of a result of a tremendous amount of input from incredible writers, visual artists, filmmakers, the list goes on and on and on.
Cool.
And then like, I kind of am able through my creativity to like absorb all that information and like, remix it into my own kind of aesthetic, and then kind of spit it back out in the form of different creative mediums like photography and writing and stuff like that.
Cool. Yeah, so this next question, these questions are kind of all over the place. So some will be about photography, some will be about other things. So they're in no particular order. Next question from at LVRock20. They just asked, dating in the city, ? So what is dating like in the city?
I mean, depends what year you ask me,
Dating like right now in COVID times.
Dating right now in COVID times. I mean, look, it's not really, I'm not experiencing much of it. It's a little strange. I think I'll just address dating in general in a city, because one thing I've found over the years is like, New York kind of has this reputation that like people always kind of like want to be free to like explore different possibilities. And I think that comes with like living in proximity to a lot of different social situations, because, every day you encounter, so many different people. And like what I love about the city is like, the possibilities are just like coming at you from all directions. And it's kind of like this beautiful, like, I even call for street photography, I call New York a random people generator. Like every day I leave the house, I'll see 5,000 people that I'll never see again, in normal times.
And then what was before COVID times? What was your favorite date spot? Did you have a go-to spot? I think I know the answer to this.
Yeah. A restaurant right down the street.
Say it on 3. 1, 2, 3. Narrows.
What?
Oh, not Narrows?
No.
Oh man, I love Narrows though. What were you gonna say?
I love the Narrows.
Yeah.
Faro.
Me too. I've been on a date with you at the Narrows.
Yeah, truly. Yeah, in a way.
Yeah.
No, but hold on. It's Faro.
Oh yeah, Faro for a nice
Faro.
dinner. Wow, that's crazy that it like pretty much rhymes with Narrows. Faro, Narrows.
Naro. It's a stretch. We'll call it a slant rhyme. Okay.
Did you remember to stretch today?
I did.
I'm trying to stretch every day lately.
Yeah, no, okay. I did.
Cool.
Was that your question?
Oh yeah,
let's stick to the real ones.
My bad. So next question, at J Parks asked, what is your favorite part about New York City?
It kind of touches on what I just said. Like it's the like kind of unlimited potential of the density of like creative people. And to me, New York is like, I kind of, my general philosophy about life is that we're kind of all connected in this global organism. Like we're all kind of like brain cells in this giant collective consciousness. And like New York to me is like one of those epicenters like of that being.
Yeah.
And like literally it's like the beating heart. Like if you take a time lapse of New York City,
which you did recently.
Yeah, exactly. For my NFT that I released,
which we'll get to.
But but when I watch the flow of traffic, like in these bursts, like it's like, it literally looks like blood flowing through veins and arteries. And then like, the red tail lights versus like the white headlights. It's like,
Damn.
it's like veins versus arteries.
Are you thinking of this analogy now, or has this been
I think about
in
this
your bloodstream already?
I think about this all day, Jerm.
Okay.
All day, every day.
Wow. Well, I love New York City just like you do. And the way you describe it and paint this into words, it makes me love it even more.
Yeah. And wait, I want to say one more thing about that.
Yeah. Tell me another thing.
Is that there's this incredible visual data representation of the population of New York City by hour of the day. And again, this is pre-COVID.
Yeah.
But basically they mapped the, like, how many people are in each sector of Manhattan for every hour of the day. And then they play that in a loop, right? So you see, like, when people commute in, it's like literally like a beating heart.
Yeah.
Because like, as people commute in for work, like the population spikes. And then as they go home for the night, the population goes down again. And even at like lunch break, there's like this like outflow. So it really does, like, if you look at data in the right way, you can really identify some of the patterns that reflect the same way that organisms work. And I think that, like,
I love that.
The micro all the way to the macro, and then probably like outward into the universe, is all reflective of those same systems. And like, that really fascinates me.
That's incredible. That was a great answer to that question. Wow. Next question from at A7Madash80. Where's the best country you've been to?
Oh, that's hard. I don't like to pick favorites. Well, you're a little biased because we went to Thailand together and you ate a scorpion, and that was probably a highlight of your life.
It's a highlight of your life. That was not a highlight of my life.
Yeah, we should roll that clip.
Yeah. Can we roll that clip? I mean,
no, I don't actually have it. I'm sorry, guys, but I'll send it to you. And can we add it in post?
I mean, we could roll it right here.
Pull it up right now.
I don't have it online.
Producer Chris, can we bring it up?
Yeah, we're
It's actually it'll actually take too long to find because it's on my. You got to scroll down on my other
we're
Instagram.
gonna do it in post. Okay. Right here it is.
There it is. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we went to Thailand together actually right before the pandemic, and that was an incredible trip.
It was incredible. But let me answer that question for real, because
cool.
I loved Thailand.
Yeah.
It was amazing, but I don't think it was my favorite place I've ever been, because I've been to so many amazing places. I would say that the trip that like changed my perspective the most, I'll go with that as like kind of a way to narrow it down, because I can't really choose, was Cuba. We did a trip with the Sony Alpha Imaging Collective to Cuba. And it was, part of it was with the people I was with. So it was, I'm not going to name everybody because it would take up too much time, but like at least naming like Ovek,
right?
Steve Sweatpants, Paola Moneris.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, that was the trip that kind of like sparked a lot of friendships for me. They're like some of my closest friends.
Was it more about the friendships for you on that trip, or your experience?
It was like the friendships, and like I feel like when you make a friend in a certain context that is so special, it really deepens the relationship. It's one of the reasons like you and I are so close, is because of that. We were roommates the whole trip on Thailand.
We were roommates, and
it was like, so like even we had fun at like the crazy stuff, but even the moments of like calm, and like we became like confidants in a way that we've always been in a way, but when you're sleeping in a village in the mountains of Chiang Mai, it's like a little different. So.
Yeah.
Jerm, what was your favorite part of Thailand?
What was my favorite part of Thailand? Probably the Lantern Festival.
That was pretty crazy.
It was just surreal. I cried. I don't cry that often, but it was an emotional experience.
Yeah.
Just really beautiful. This is where, for anyone who's not familiar, once a year in Thailand around November, at the same exact time, there's like thousands of people that light a paper mache, not paper mache. I don't know.
Just a paper lantern.
Just paper. Yeah. It's kind of the same way it works if like you light a tea bag and how it kind of floats in the air. It's similar. You just like light this lantern, and they all just float in the air at the same time. And I was surprised at how emotional I got. It was
also there was like fireworks going off and like singing.
It was just a beautiful moment. It
was really cool.
Very grateful for that. All right. @ Brett Gilbert _ asked pineapple on pizza ?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
But if you're going to do pineapple on pizza, you need the ham or like prosciutto, because the salt needs to balance the sweet.
Okay.
So like you can't just like, I'm not going to eat a cheese pizza with pineapple. That's disgusting.
I mean, I do that.
You also eat cereal with orange juice, dude. So like,
I mean, I've done that before.
I'm not taking any of my dietary tips.
I'm an open-minded person. What can I say? I like to try new things. I saw someone talk about it on the internet. I wanted to give it a try. You can't.
It's one of the reasons I love you, but it's also one of the reasons I'm not going to eat breakfast with you. Hey,
I agree to disagree. We definitely have eaten breakfast before though.
I know. Yeah. But just milk for me.
Well, at _Brett Gilbert _ also asked, what makes a good photo in your eyes?
Wow, Brett, two
pineapple pizza questions? And then photography.
2 questions?
Yeah. I mean, I liked both those questions, so I circled both.
Okay. Well,
shout out Brett Gilbert.
Yeah. Nice questions, Brett.
Yeah.
What makes a good photo?
Yeah.
So there's this, one of the most famous quotes about photography is not quotes, but like definitions is like the decisive moment, right? And I've kind of taken that and absorbed that and incorporated it into my kind of process in my own way. And what I would say makes a good photo is like being able to identify a moment of interest at the confluence of different circumstances. So like as all these things like time, light, color, character, as these things flow past each other, can you hit the shutter button at a moment that captures that intersection and where there's like, a whole story embedded in a single frame? That's my definition of what makes a good photo.
And do you think it matters shooting digitally or film in this scenario?
No.
Cool.
No, it doesn't matter what you use. You can use anything you want.
I'm on the same wavelength with you. I like shooting both digital and film. I shoot mostly digital, but something special about film photography, not having that.
And you know what? I like live that too in terms of the way I output work. So I have multiple accounts for different types of photography.
Yeah. Tell us about your other accounts.
So Atoms of Eve, like ATOM.
This is your newest account.
Yeah, it's my newest account. So it's like all medium format film. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can pull that up if you want. Yeah. Atoms of Eve. Yeah. So these are all my medium format film scans that kind of just to keep me like sharing that process as well, because I actually started on film. But then my main account is mostly like shot on Sony Alpha, obviously. And then I have a additional account called Secret Street, which I'm really
love Secret Street.
I'm really proud of that one because
one of my favorite accounts.
The reason I started that was because the number one question I would get on Instagram on my main account was, oh, like I have $1,000 to my name. Like, what camera should I buy? And I'm always like, probably just buy a plane ticket instead, go somewhere, see something new, and then use you're literally texting me on a device that has a beautiful camera built into it. I
1000% agree. I get a lot of questions saying like, hey, I have like a $500 budget. I want to buy this camera for myself or for my partner. And I always tell them like, unless you're paying over $1,000, like the iPhone is by far the best camera.
So for example, go back to that last photo. Yeah. So this one is actually the view from this building, which is kind of funny, but, the point being is that it's way more about like photography is more about the art of observation. So like I practice photography at all times, like with or without a camera. I'm like looking at light. I'm studying how it interacts with things. I'm looking at the light, the shadow of the glass, like right here, like as you turn the glass, what's changing, how light is getting filtered through different mediums. And you can do that before you ever buy a camera. Just look a little bit closer at the world around you. There's so much to see. And then if you're into that, it makes every single waking moment of your life and even in your dreams, like it makes it this fun visual game where it's like, what can I find today? What can I collect? Like what can I add to my archive that I might like enjoy later in life looking back?
Yeah. I'm always playing with light, looking at light. It's like my favorite thing.
Yeah.
So, if you're what makes a good photographer is understanding light the most.
Yeah, exactly.
So
and just like forget equipment and just focus on absorbing like new information.
What's your favorite type of light?
My favorite type of light?
Yeah. To shoot in.
Probably low light, like just like cities at night. I love that. I really love that. Cool. Like it just really appeals to me. And also like inclement weather, like when it's pouring, like the harder it's raining, like the more I want to be out shooting.
Cool. It's sunrise for me. That's my favorite light. All right, on to the next question from @Zane Bonaire.
Oh, Zane?
Do you know Zane Bonaire?
No.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, bud.
What movie would you define as inspiring and why? I like that question.
That's a great question. Yeah. I mean, again, it's like, what country is your favorite country? I'm like, there's so many, like, how do I choose? But one of the first that comes to mind, I mean, I will say, this is such a cliche, but like, a lot changed for me when I saw The Matrix in 1999.
Not cliche at all. I've never seen The Matrix, actually.
All right, we have to stop the podcast.
I apologize. I mean, I kind of understand what the movie's about.
No, you don't. You haven't seen it.
I mean, the red pill, the blue pill.
No, dog.
Like, right?
We have a TV right here. Guys, we're going to be back. We're going to be back soon. We're going to watch The Matrix and we're going to come back in 2.5 hours.
Yeah. I've never seen it either. Just saying.
Oh, there we go. 2 out of 3.
All right, now I'm just leaving.
Anyone here has seen it? I've not seen it.
Has anyone here seen The Matrix? Raise your hand. All right. Okay.
I guess
You haven't?
Hey, guess what?
Oh,
that makes us more unique. Okay.
Makes us better.
Yeah.
That means you're still in The Matrix and you haven't got to Zion yet.
Oh, shit.
No, I mean, all joking aside, The Matrix, we're going to watch that, by the way. You're coming over. But cool. it cinematically, it kind of redefined things for sci-fi, but also it like philosophically, it kind of is a very interesting concept right now. And I was going to say for anyone who hasn't seen it, but I'll just say it to you because you haven't seen it. Like, basically the premise is like, the world that we think we live in is actually a simulation, and like you're plugged in and machines are like,
so this movie is ahead of its time.
Yeah. And so like, but every day we get closer and closer to that future,
right?
Where it's like, you know, we spend most of our lives, especially this year, we've spent most of our lives in digital spaces. Right. So, you know, it's interesting. And I'm also super into like simulation theory and like all this kind of deeper philosophical questions around technology. So that movie was very, very impactful for me. And I have tons of other answers too. Like one of my recent favorite movies I saw was The Lighthouse. Have you seen The Lighthouse?
Still need to see that. It's on my list. It's on my list.
It's
came out last year, right?
Yeah. It's a journey. It's a real crazy journey, but cool. And also The Revenant for the lighting.
Oh yeah. Incredible.
And for Leo.
Have you seen Parasite?
Yes. Parasite was amazing. Okay. Parasite was the last movie I saw before
Same.
lockdown. Mm-hmm. And I saw it at an independent theater in West Village. What's it called? I want to shout them out because they're so awesome.
Well, I saw it right before the pandemic too, right here down the street at Syndicated.
Oh, Syndicated's a great theater. Yeah.
With Sam the Cobra and Colin.
Sam.
Yeah.
Wow. And Colin.
Hey. Yeah. Colin, who's in the room right now. Shout out Colin.
And Sam, who's in Amsterdam because he wanted to live somewhere that rhymed with his name.
Wow. It does rhyme with his name. I didn't realize that. That's funny. Okay. Next question from @offbeatlook. How did you guys meet?
Oh, I know Offbeat Look.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah. Okay.
Hi, Camille.
Hey, what's up? How did we meet? Oh, you know what? I know how we met because I just saw a picture of it the other day.
Really?
Yep.
How did we meet, Dave?
I think we met at, why can't I remember this? What was the hashtag? I just from these pictures.
Right I know the hashtag.
What's the hashtag?
Rainy Rise NYC. Is that it?
No, Rain Rise.
Rain Rise NYC.
No, just Rain. Was it Rain Rise NYC?
Rain Rise, just Rain Rise. Doesn't matter. But we met at a time.
Will you type in up in the search bar?
Oh, this is going to be a nice little blast in the past.
Yeah, Rain Rise and hashtag Rain Rise NYC or something.
Yeah. Was it Rain Rise? Rainy Rise? Anyways, these are in the times when Instagram meetups were a thing. It was the golden days of Instagram.
This is 2014, by the way.
This is 2014. That's when
Silva.
Oh, there's Silva.
Wait, no, open this one, please. This is going to be great. On the top right corner.
What a great hairline.
Yeah. So this is Jose Silva. Yeah. JN Silva on Instagram.
Yeah. One of our
and
buds.
Giselle, his wife.
Yeah. Also a great bud of ours.
Deep friends here. Yeah. And then click out of this. Let's look at some other people, some more of our friends. So that's Miss Hatton. Is that Natalie? Yeah. That's Natalie, Miss Hatton.
This is so cool to look through this hashtag.
Yeah. This is so funny. This is like over 7 years ago. Yeah. This is the group of people. Oh no, is this a different day? We didn't have balloons, did we? Yeah. Sometimes people troll hashtags just to. Yeah, this has got to be a different day. That was a different 371 weeks ago. Yeah. No, this is the same day.
Doesn't matter. Weird. Anyway, let's talk about this day for a second though. I remember this day too. Yeah. It was right when Instagram meetups were the thing, and I saw that. I think I was following you. yeah, I definitely was following you and you didn't know who I was, and I came and I was so excited to meet you.
Yeah.
I saw your photo on.
There's me. That's hilarious.
Yep, that's so funny. And there's me, a reflection of me. I think Newberry took that photo, and there's you. So this was down at, what's this part of New York called?
Seaport District.
South Street Seaport.
Yeah, and this was really one of the most like iconic meetups in the early Instagram era. You can see in this picture down here that we're all wearing name tags.
Oh yeah, we wore name tags. Yeah. So when we went to these Instagram meetups, it's like all these new people that recently signed up to Instagram. We all have like similar interests, aka photography, and we meet up mostly at sunrise. Like this was at sunrise that we met up, right? So it would be no one on the streets except for all these photographers, and it was just such a great time to like meet people and hang and
click out of this one. Click out of this one for a second.
Yeah, a lot of people came from New Jersey. A lot of people came from all different parts of New York.
It's so funny, man. I'm trying to see if there's a picture of Paolo as well.
Oh yeah, scroll down a little bit more. There's Greg.
Wow, so funny.
Yeah,
but
Tim,
a lot of
Cal.
Yeah, a lot of friendships were made this day.
Yeah, and one of them was our friendship that blossomed into what it is now.
Yeah, and so by the way, I have a portrait of you from that day. You have a huge beard.
Oh yeah, that's when I rocked the fatty beard.
And I'm gonna send you that portrait as well. Maybe we can throw it into as like let's throw it in as like a cut scene.
Cool.
Because it's pretty cool. But yeah. That was that's how we met. That's a great question.
I think I took that. No, I didn't. I did not take that photo. But yeah, good times, man. Good times.
That was a great question because it spawned this.
Cheers to meeting. It's almost our 8-year friendsaniversary.
That's crazy. You know, if you asked me before, I would have said we've known each other for like 6.
Yeah. Well, to cheers to many more years. And now let's go on to the next question. Let's see here. At Bovid, aka our friend Bovin, whose birthday it was last night.
We had dinner.
Yes. Shout out Bovin. Great dude. Great friend. He said, who is the better chess player and what's the current record?
I think we're pretty evenly matched, honestly. I'd love to take this opportunity to like talk shit, but like, we're pretty evenly matched.
Honestly, I think you're better. I've just been, the last couple of games I've been beating you, but overall I think you're better.
Last couple of games?
I mean, we played 2 games last night.
You went
and I smushed you in both.
All right, fine. Fine. I've been playing a lot.
Yeah, me too.
But I play a lot on chess.com. So like I just like, for example, my sister and I like play a couple games every day.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, we're just like kind of like ripping through games, and that's the only way to really get better at chess is to just like basically like study some openings and then trial and error, and it's just such a fun game. Such a complex and deep game. So
so simple yet so complex.
Yeah.
All right, next question. At Briscoe Park.
Briscoe
asked lol, ask him about crypto art, ask him about his plants, ask him about his fake candles. Wow,
shots fired.
Wait, but honestly, can we talk about these fake candles, because I think it's a very interesting topic.
We can. However, let me kind of introduce Briscoe to the Briscoe Park is a kind of young, incredible photographer, and I only call artists young when they're like, I'm just like trying to say that he's like far ahead of his time. Like when I was his age, I didn't know what was going on.
All right, what are we talking, like 19 years old?
I don't actually know how old he is. I think he's like early 20s.
Okay, cool.
I think like 22 or something, maybe. I'm just guessing. Sorry, Briscoe. But I actually just met him for the first time like a week ago.
Oh, wow. He already asked a question.
He lives in his van and drives around and takes amazing pictures. Let's pull up Briscoe. Look at his photography. So good.
Ooh, I love that shot with the red window light.
Yeah, he's super talented. I love these ones that are like kind of ghostly explorations with subjects in them. And
cool.
I think that he'll be a filmmaker someday.
I can see
from anything he told me, but I see it in his work that I would like to see a movie that's based in his creative world.
Damn. We need more friends like Dave that'll just like wish the best for all the friends. Like manifest this into existence.
No, just so that when they succeed, they can help me.
Oh, okay.
No, it does bring us to the point of like the idea of like a rising tide raises all ships.
Right. And
it's like, we'll talk about that later maybe, but he's actually, I featured him on my editorial website, allships.co. And it's a great article. He has a lot of cool insights. I don't know if we can even find that. You want to scroll down a little bit and maybe we can find his article. Keep going. It was one of the first articles I wrote.
Linus is in there.
Yeah, we got a lot of friends in here now. Yeah. Keep it going.
So many articles. Yeah, if you guys are listening right now.
What is
there it
Allships?
is. Yep.
What is Allships?
So Allships is kind of a editorial website, agency, creative collective based on the idea that like we're all stronger together. I think that in the age of the internet, there's so much more room for creativity that it's not a zero-sum game. Like your win doesn't limit my wins. And actually, I think that we're in an age where my wins can only help the other people that I'm working with and around, because we're all building out the industry and pushing into new directions. And so like, if we can all do that and together and like not attack each other and not be like, like the whole concept is collaboration over competition, basically. It's like, I'd rather live in a collaborative, creative community than live in one where like I think I'm like constantly jealous and like worried about other people succeeding and taking spots that I could take. I think that concept is something that the internet can help us move away from.
Agreed. So going back to Briscoe's question, can we talk about these fake candles? Because I personally love them.
Yeah,
they grew on me from
first of all. Briscoe loves them too.
Okay, cool.
I was pushing him pretty hard on when Briscoe was over though. I was like, these are awesome, man.
All right. So pretty much, and Dave's apartment, which is an incredible loft. If you would imagine a New York loft, it's like Dave's apartment, and you walk in, there's plants everywhere. There's just like, I don't even know how to, it's just like, you ever watch one of these New York TV shows? It's like one of those apartments.
It's a vibe. That's how you can describe it.
It's a vibe. And then you walk in and like, I don't know, you play chess or something. But in the background, there's all of these candles just lit around you. And then you look a little closer and you realize, oh wait, they're not real candles.
They're little flickering LEDs, but they're like kind of designed in this way that they have like a flicker, and like the wick, like this fake wick moves back and forth. Mm-hmm. And when it's in your peripheral vision, like you kind of forget that they're not real candles.
Right.
And to me, it's just a little more of like a sustainable and like less dangerous way.
Yep.
But
it still provides the vibe.
Yeah, it provides the vibe, but I will admit that I love real candles.
Yeah.
So I always mix like in the main like center of the apartment, like where we're all chilling and hanging.
Right.
Like there's always real candles burning. But then on like the edges for like a little additional ambiance, I'll put the little fake candles up.
There you go. I like that strategy.
Just trying to like increase the vibe, like amplify the vibe created by the real.
They'll obviously never be the same to real candles. Real candles are amazing. Of course you don't get the smell or anything. But like, not. Yeah, it's a nice touch to your apartment. Yeah. It makes it unique. I love it.
It adds a little,
it's a fun conversation piece.
Yeah, it adds to the mood.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of mood, at Eon New York asked, "How's your day going?"
My day's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did I do today? I went plant shopping with one of my best friends, Ollie Channon, who is an incredible musician. Got to plug Ollie Channon. Yep. Look him up on Spotify. Literally like the soundtrack to my life.
Underrated artist. Yeah. Underrated and underappreciated.
He's
we need to give him some plays.
Yeah.
Incredible music.
So Ollie, I just released a piece of crypto art. We can talk about that at some point.
I mean, yeah, we have some questions. Should we just talk about it now? Well, here, let me ask. Let me ask this.
Well, you could just play this. I don't know if that will work for the
Maxwell Swift at Maxwell Swift actually asked, "I saw you recently sold an NFT. Can you elaborate more about your experience with this?"
Yeah. So basically an NFT stands for non-fungible token.
Yeah.
So because of technology like the blockchain, we now have a way to make digital products scarce. So before, like you kind of put something on the internet and like anybody can steal it and take it, like whatever. But we now have a way where you can kind of like assign a unique digital signature to the art you create. And then you can put out limited editions, you can make a one of one, whatever. But once you mint a piece and then somebody collects it, like nobody can fake the original provenance of that piece anymore. And there's much better explanations if you know.
This is a topic that could be a whole podcast series.
And it's something that's very relatively new. Like it's been going on for a few years, but it's just exploding right now.
Yeah, actually right before Dave and I recorded this podcast, we were literally upstairs in his apartment and I bought my first NFT, which was really exciting. So
shout out Trevor Jones Art, who just made a couple $1 million tonight.
Just like incredible. That. Incredible.
But point being is that there's a whole new world of digital art collecting opening up. And I really do think it's a paradigm shift that's going to change the way that creatives engage with the internet.
Yeah.
And to that point, I just sold not my first, but I sold my first collaboration NFT with an artist named Xsulo. Yeah, this is one of my favorite artists in the world. He's so dope. And yeah, so this is the piece we did together right here. And basically what we did was we mixed a time lapse that I took of Flatiron building. And unfortunately on Instagram, the compression is so bad, but like this is actually in 4K and this is beautiful piece. I'll send it to you guys. You can like maybe cut it in. So you really get the idea here, but Ollie actually did the music and Ollie killed it. He built this whole soundscape and he then over the soundscape, he wrote this like really compelling beat that kind of, it gets us back to this idea of like a heartbeat of the city. Right. So yeah, I'm really excited for the future of digital art. I think that we're finally going to enter an era where artists are fairly compensated and maybe even can be decoupled from their, you know, kind of need to work for like tons of corporations and brands or be embedded in advertising agencies. Yep. So like I think that this might liberate a lot of creatives from what I consider to be like more toxic workplaces and like kind of lifestyles that aren't natural. Like I don't think it's kind of natural to like have the same, you know, like to be a cog in like a giant machine. And I'm not knocking on anybody who either enjoys that or is doing that or anything like that. But like for me as a creative person, like I want my days to be different every day. Yeah. Like I want to be like flowing through the world and like open to opportunity. And like, I want to be able to drop everything and like go somewhere and like do something and make something.
I've known you for 8 years now. I know I've seen you work the 9 to 5. I've seen you. Yeah.
So yeah, I've had the whole spectrum of experience in terms of work. I've been full-time, I've been freelance, I've been contractor, I've done everything. And what I really like, what I want more than wealth, like what I think is better than wealth is freedom of time, because it's like, you can't buy time. So if you can, unless no, just like, it's the one thing that you can never get back. So like, I want to like be able to own my time and like make decisions based on what I want to do in the world and not have to make compromises and stuff like that. I mean, that's the dream.
Yeah. You deserve that.
Yeah.
At What Would Nialdo asked, if you could travel back in time to photograph any historical event in history, what event would you choose?
That's a great question.
Such a great question. I double circled that one because it was so good.
Any great event in history.
Yeah.
Oof, that's like,
I'm trying to think of what my answer would be. Yeah, so on this podcast, we might get a couple pauses because I'm asking the questions here live and the guest does not know.
There's just so much to think about.
Yeah,
I think maybe like...
He's also got skips. Keep that in mind.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to skip this one, though. I love this. Maybe like the launch of the first moon mission.
Ooh. So like you want to photograph it, you'd ideally be on the moon photographing.
Yeah, I'd be the one shooting the Hasselblad frames that are from the moon mission. Can you pull up a Hasselblad moon mission?
I didn't know it was shot on a Hassi.
Apollo Hasselblad.
It was shot on a Hassi?
It's shot on a special I think Chrome Hasselblad.
Ooh. You mean on Google?
No, I mean like on Google. Yeah. Sorry. So actually NASA released all the high res scans of all the photographs shot on the Hasselblad. I think they're like in the public domain even. So you couldn't just use them. Actually, definitely fact check that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is Hasselblad. Look at this. This is amazing. Wow. These are shot on medium format film.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm getting the chills right now.
So to answer your question, I'm glad I took this question and didn't skip it because this is a great moment.
I mean, that camera he's holding is in Hasselblad.
Yeah, that's a Sony A7R4 actually.
God damn it. Oh my God. Anyone who doesn't like photography will not think that's funny at all or not get that. And yeah. That was funny. I like that. All right. Well, going to piggyback to this next question that's similar yet different. At StefanRod4, who's also a good friend of mine, I went to his wedding, asked, who in history does he want to arm wrestle? Who in history would you like to arm wrestle, Dave?
Probably someone with weak arms.
You're looking at me right now. Are you trying to arm wrestle right now?
Definitely not.
Dude, come on.
Nope.
All right.
Again.
How about a thumb wrestle?
Collaboration over competition.
Fair. But
let's use our arm strength together, Jerm.
Damn. All right. I could get down with that.
I mean, look, I would just pick somebody that I want to have a conversation with.
Yeah.
I want to arm wrestle Ernest Hemingway.
Damn.
And I'll be like, all right, you win. Can we talk about writing now?
I love that. I think he's a competitive guy.
Hemingway?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know anything about the man, but
He had a lot of cats.
yeah.
Oh, okay. That says something.
Competitive cat collector.
All right.
He also loved Cuba, by the way.
So represent.
At Dear Mary _photo asked.
I love all these usernames, by the way. This is one of my favorite parts about this podcast. I'm like, oh, like, Dear Mary.
Yeah, shout out to all these people asking questions. We found a photo of Hemingway arm wrestling. Shout out to producer Chris for finding that photo.
Yeah. In Spain.
Wow. Who is the guy?
Hemingway fought in the Spanish Civil War. I'm just saying.
Jeez. All right.
Wasn't he an ambulance driver? Yeah. I don't think he fought, but
I gotta do some.
he was a medic.
Aren't we all fighting DK though?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So just a reminder, you get two.
For whom does the bell toll?
No one in capitalism.
So just a reminder, you get 2 skips on this podcast.
I'm not skipping anything, bro. Let's
Oh,
go.
damn. All right. Okay. Well, at Dear Mary _photo asked, is Dave single? Winky face.
Skip.
I love you, man. All right. At Jack Shanahan asked, advice on getting clients. Or should we just go back to this idea of NFTs?
No. I said, hey, look,
Yeah.
I just skipped one. Let me answer this one.
All right. Well, you get 2 skips. So I'm just trying to give you a little help.
Advice on getting clients. That's a great question. It's very practical. I like it. If you're for photography,
Yeah.
okay. This is for photography, but I think this applies generally in life. We live in a society. No, we live in again, we live in an interconnected organism, global organism, especially with the internet. Okay, so everyone you meet and everyone you encounter, especially as a photographer, is a prospective client. And I'm not saying like sell yourself to everyone you meet, but just know that like you be kind to everyone you encounter, be helpful to everyone you encounter, be genuine and authentic, you know, never compromise your like integrity, because, you know, all you have is like that ability. Like you want to be somebody that somebody thinks of when they need the thing that you do. Right. And the bigger you can make your web of connections, it's the reason that social media is so effective for people like us, right? We have a web of connections, and like, let's say that 1 in every 1,000 people is a client. So like, if you can have your network, whether it's in person or online or whatever, like the more you can build out your network, then the more potential clients are out there, and they'll just come in to you as you grow. Now, also like, one way to grow those networks is to, again, be authentic, be kind, be yourself.
Be yourself, because no one else can be yourself.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that you can't fake, or that nobody else can fake, or nobody else can take from you, is like you. So, and it also just feels so much better when you do things according to the way you want to do them, instead of like trying to please an algorithm or like trying to like social climb the ladder. Like it's so ineffective and gross. It's like, just be you. We live in an era where we're also interconnected, that like whatever niche thing you do, like you can find your audience as long as you're consistent about it. I mean, like there's accounts that are much, much bigger than me that are like run by a cat or a dog, one dog. Like, or there's, you know, one of my favorite examples is Breadface blog.
That's a good one.
Right. So like, yeah, pull this up.
Is it at Breadface?
I think it's Breadface blog.
Yeah. Breadface blog.
No, it's on Instagram.
Yeah. But she is someone who rolls her face in bread, right?
Mm-hmm. You said it better than I could.
Breadface blog.
Truly a part of the upper crust, one might say.
It's a knee slapper.
So yeah, you're seeing what's going on here. Now, this to me is like the best definition of like what a niche is. So, you know, this isn't something that necessarily like appeals to me, but it sure appeals to a lot of people. Like, go back to her main page.
Can this be minted?
Yeah, for sure. So look, she has 187,000 followers, and she monetizes this, and she makes her living off of this kind of thing.
She makes that bread.
She does make bread.
Germ, can you explain what's happening in the videos?
Okay, so for everyone listening, not watching the YouTube version of this podcast, there's a woman on Instagram that goes by Breadface Blog, and she made her whole career by rolling her face into bread. Mm-hmm. In this video we're watching right now, she just took out this bread, which happens to be
banana bread.
Some sort of banana bread. She put it on the table, then she smashes her face into it ever so delicately, and then rolls her face around in it. It doesn't make any sense, but it's very pleasing to watch. And is there any sound that goes along with this video too?
I'm not sure, but it has 43,000 views. So I don't want to harp on this too long, but like the point being that no matter what it is you do, because we're all interconnected and the distribution networks are so accessible to people now, like that means that people can find you. And if people think what you're doing is like interesting or funny or like, you know, just appeals to them in some like ASMR way, like look, you can make that your brand. So I use this as an example because to me, this is like a very extreme example of that. Mm-hmm. So whatever idea like you have, like, you know, it's probably going to work too, as long as you stick with it.
Thanks. All right, let's go on to the next question. At Genevieva asked, what brought you to New York, Dave? What would you ever live anywhere else?
Ooh, good question. So this goes back to the earlier like kind of conversation about like the beating heart. Like I feel like New York is like the beating heart of humanity. And like ever since I visited here as a kid, we used to come up all the time because my aunts and uncles all live here. Mm-hmm. I remember being like 12 years old, like longboarding through Central Park, literally like, and I was like, I remember this moment, like going like down under a bridge and I just had this like great run down this super smooth trail.
Were you smiling ear to ear, just wind in your
beaming,
hair?
Yeah. On top of the world, truly. And then I just remember thinking like, I'm definitely gonna live here.
Damn.
And then I remember when I finally graduated college, took me an extra little bit of time, Boston University.
Nice.
Boston. I skipped my own graduation just to get here a few days earlier.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're that excited.
Yeah.
I love that.
And would I ever live anywhere else? When I'm like settled down a bit more, like when I have a family, which is something I really want to do.
Yeah.
I'll definitely live somewhere that's closer to nature. I think it's really important, especially for young kids. Like so much of my early childhood and like who I am as a person is defined by experiences outdoors. Cool. And you just like, you got parks here, but it's just not the same. Like you need to be,
so Jersey. I'm thinking about moving too.
No, that's not what I'm talking about at all. I mean, sorry, Silva, everyone else over there.
I mean, Jersey.
No, my dad's from Patterson, New Jersey, actually.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah, no, I love New Jersey. I'm just joking. We have this running beef with our friends.
Yeah.
Brooklyn versus New Jersey.
Everyone does. Everyone.
Yeah.
Trashes New Jersey. It's actually a nice state.
No, New Jersey is amazing.
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there. I'm talking about like more like Hudson, New York, or like way up, like up into the Catskills. I probably wouldn't live up there, but like definitely somewhere that's closer to like forested areas.
Okay, cool. All right. Question from S.Alex. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Well, Salix, the best piece of, I'm going to quote my dad who quoted somebody else.
Okay.
It's definitely not my dad's quote. I know it's not, but one thing he told me that I've kind of like used as a guiding light is don't let the best become the enemy of the good. And basically like a lot of us will like come up with ideas and then it seems so like daunting. Like maybe even you with this podcast. Like don't let perfectionism stop you from doing something.
That's something I need to work on for sure.
Right. So it's like, look, like we just got to do stuff and we got to iterate. Like the only way you get better at anything is iterating.
No, that's why I'm doing this. I'd never done a podcast before. We're just jumping right into it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's amazing. And it's awesome. I love talking to you.
Yeah. I love talking to you too.
But yeah, like so often in my life, I'm like, it's happened to me multiple times. Like some of my biggest, what I would consider like my biggest creative failures were because I was scared of putting out something that wasn't perfect. And then like time went by and I ended up not putting it out at all.
Yeah.
And I messed up some like really good opportunities because I was unwilling to like put out something good.
Been there.
As opposed to putting out something perfect. And nothing's perfect.
Nothing's perfect.
So don't let the best become the enemy of the good. And that's, again, that can be attributed to the proper person at some point. But my dad was the one who first told that to me. And it was really impactful in my life.
At Pez X3 asked, what's a moment you regret not capturing a photo of?
Oh, I know the exact answer.
Really?
Oh my God. Yeah, that's such a good question.
Yeah.
I was the officiant at my sister's wedding, and there was great wedding photographers there, and they were, covering everything, but I always bring my camera too. So I'm always snapping away.
But you didn't bring your camera.
I did bring my camera, and I shot a ton of the wedding, and I got all these moments, but it was in this beautiful amphitheater in the woods, just like the most iconically beautiful situation. Yeah. In Western Massachusetts in Great Barrington. And literally like the moment I married them, like I was like, now, you may now kiss the bride. I decided not to have my camera with me because I thought it would mess up like the other photos. Like I wanted them to have like this picturesque scene with like no other cameras in it and stuff like that. It was just kind of a last minute decision. I was like, I'll leave my camera like over there. And then as I was standing there, like the moment they kissed, I saw like everybody like stood up and was clapping in the background. Oh. And it was like this beautiful, like stadium seating in the woods.
No one ever gets that perspective. Huh?
Yeah. And like nobody would ever get that perspective of like them kissing and then everyone they love like applauding in the background. And it was like this, I literally can still see it in my head. And I was like, if I just had my camera with like a 24 millimeter on it, like, and just was like click, it would be the most beautiful picture I've ever taken probably.
Wow.
So that was the one that got away.
Speaking of different perspectives, maybe if I get married someday, I'll put a GoPro on my head and my wife's head. And when we kiss, we'll just have that moment captured. Who has that moment captured? No one.
Well, are you sure she's still going to marry you if you do that?
It'll just be two GoPros bumping.
Yeah. I mean,
both shots will be ruined.
No, I mean, we'll see. It'll never be done before.
You gotta put it in your mouth.
Hey, when I graduated college, I put a GoPro on my head, and there's a video of me I put it over a Drake song.
Is it online? Is it online?
It's online.
By the way, this is all extremely on brand.
It's online. I mean, it's from 2014 when I graduated college. So
that tracks, bro.
It does. At Jack Lincoln asked, what is the proudest moment of your artistic career thus far?
Ooh.
I have a feeling it might have been very recently. Maybe I'm
interesting.
wrong.
That's kind of an interesting prompt. First of all, Jack Lincoln,
it's spelled differently. He's not related to Abe.
No. Yeah, I know. Very supportive individual of my work. So thank you.
Oh, shout out Jack.
Yeah. Shout out to Jack. Damn. I've had a lot of cool creative moments. Let's see. I mean, one of the biggest ones that was a break for me was getting published in the New York Times for the Empty Met stuff. That was really crazy.
Oh, yeah.
But that was, I honestly think just because of what's happening in the world, one of my proudest moments was selling that piece of crypto art.
Which happened, a week ago? Not even?
Not even. It happened on, what's today?
Today is, what day is today? Wednesday? Is it Wednesday?
Yeah, we sold it on Sunday.
Okay.
So 3 days ago.
Nice.
Yeah. So again, like there's this whole new world of NFTs and crypto art kind of exploding right now.
What was the highest bid at? Was it 38 Ethereum that you sold?
No. It was 20 Ethereum, which at the time was equivalent to $38,000 for this collaboration right here that we did again. So with Xulo, the artist that we mentioned earlier.
Dave sold a digital piece of art.
Yeah.
A video online. He sold it.
Yeah. And shout out our collector, Art Curious.
Shout out Art Curious.
And we sold this piece on a website called Super Rare.
Yep. Just on Sunday for 20 Ethereum. And
so Super Rare is a marketplace and an auction house for digital art. And, Xulo is one of their, he sells a lot of work there, and he's a very successful crypto artist. And we've been friends online for years. We've actually never met in person.
Wow.
But this is Super Rare. Really, really cool website. If you scroll down a little bit, I feel like they just did a summary article. I don't know.
I saw they featured it, right?
By the way, this is like a cool place to start learning about collecting digital art.
Yeah.
But they did feature that piece. Yeah. I don't know where that would be. Maybe, if you click on editorial right up here. Yeah. Top 10 picks right here is our piece. So yeah, this is probably a higher resolution way to, right here. I don't know if it lets you expand it, but probably not.
All right. On to the...
Anyway, this was a super proud moment. And I just want to thank, first of all, I want to thank Art Curious, our collector, but, I also really want to thank Exulo for like being willing to try something new with me. Again, like when we first started working on this piece, I can't get over it. Like,
how long was the process?
We worked on it for like 2 weeks maybe.
Okay.
But what was cool is like the idea of a collaboration is really interesting to me because like we created a piece that only exists where our imaginations overlap. Like if you think about a Venn diagram of creativity, like I have my own creativity, my own craft. He has his own creativity and his own craft.
Right.
And
so like three artists coming together to make one piece.
And at the intersection of like that Venn diagram, there's this like world that doesn't exist unless you actually put yourselves together.
Yeah.
And like, that's so exciting to me.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the reasons I'm so excited about crypto art. Cause like artists need money and it's a big incentive, right?
Yeah.
Cause we need to survive. And right now, like the best way for artists to make money is to like pair up with brands that have a ton of budget and like, you know, we get a little bit of that budget. But like crypto art seems to be a way where you can actually go directly to your community and have your community like kind of chip in.
We just support each other, artists supporting artists, and we all thrive together.
Right. And I'm spending all of my profit on this piece to buy other art.
Right.
And then my art collection is appreciating every day. It's getting more and more valuable. So like I invested $200 like 2 months ago and bought JN Silva and Thank You X's piece. Mm-hmm. And, you know, now it's 10X the value.
Right.
So like, not only did I support my friends, they actually through their efforts are supporting me because that piece in their collection, like appreciates in value. And so like, I'm holding like, you know, a little piece of that. And then all the money that they make is also like being poured back into the community because both of them are also collecting
This is
art.
the dream. We just want to thrive with our friends.
It's like
blow up with our friends.
It's like a digital symbiosis. Yeah. And I really do think it's here to stay. Yeah. So I'm really excited about the potential for this, the space for sure.
All right. This question from AR.Tompkins. Does Dave have a vision or goal for the future regarding Allships?
Ooh, great question. I do.
Let's hear it.
I want Allships to be a community of artists that share resources. And yeah, if you go to allships.co and you go to the top right and you hit menu, this will pop up the mission statement. And whether you're listening or you're watching, you can read it at your own pace. But basically, like the mission statement is like, for too long we've let, you know, these tech behemoths like completely dominate our attention and kind of like have a monopoly on our creativity. And I think the time for that is done. I think it's time for us to like strike out in our own directions. And it's really interesting because I started Allships with that ethos before I ever knew about NFTs and crypto art and what would happen. And like, as NFTs and crypto art started to rise, I was like, oh my God, this dovetails so perfectly with Allships. And like, I just want the site to never be an advertise. Like I don't want it to be supported by advertising. Like I don't want it to like name one photography site that's like community funded and like
can't.
I don't know. Like when I look at a photography site, it's all like comparing the Tamron 35 to the whatever. Like I'm just like, I don't care about that stuff at all. So I'm like, I really want a place to tell deeper stories where we can slow down for a minute and like break our addiction to the circadian cycle of social media. It's like every 24 hours, it's like boom. And then it fades off into the distance and you never see it again. Yeah. And this is a place where we can like slow down and like really think and hear deep thoughts. Like the people open up to me on the site and I really love it. Like people talk about, like, there's a lot of talk about like mental health and there's a lot of talk about creative motivations and so many interesting questions are being addressed through this. Yeah. So it's going to be this editorial presence. It's going to be, we're going to throw incredible events, like once we're allowed to gather in person again. It's going to be like a experiential events company. Obviously we're going to be very deeply embedded in crypto art and NFTs. And basically, I just want it to be a place where people can come and slow down and really like take time back from.
Also, it's just like a really cool looking site and well designed, and there's Easter eggs in it.
Yeah,
and like
there's all this cool
if you're
stuff.
listening to this right now, you got to check out allships.co. I mean, it's great.
Thanks, Jerem. Yeah, I love it. And so the goal is just to like create a sustainable ecosystem for creatives. And I hope that we can sustain that ecosystem without ever having to like, you know, have advertising at all. Like I'm down to do brand collaborations as long as we're putting money in the hands of the creatives. So like I would definitely do like anything with a brand that was willing to be like, hey, you know, we'll start a fund that we can like, you know, like we'll put $20,000 towards like a contest, and like we'll give it to like 4 underrated artists to like help kickstart their career.
Yeah, that's easy.
Yeah. So like I know that we can do things like that. Yeah. And people, you know, we've already had offers to do stuff like that. And so there's going to be a lot coming from this site in the future.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited for the future. It's how old is this baby now? Like not even 6 months?
Well, I first conceived of it like a year and a half ago.
Conceived this baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when was it
baby? I had to use the word
when was
conceived.
it born? No, I like it. You piggybacked off that.
The website was born in August.
Okay, cool. So it's like about 6 months old.
Yeah. But the idea existed for almost a year before that, which was our parties at Lucy Rouge.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So we were doing these piano parties with Isaac Tettenbaum at Lucy Rouge, where I met Ollie. He was the bartender. And
oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
He was the bartender at Lucy's. Yeah. So the point being is that like I just started to notice that we'd get like 40 or 50 of my favorite creatives in New York all in the same space, and we'd all just be like it was one of the only places that I was going where people just weren't on their phones.
Yeah.
Like nobody was on their phones.
Also, there was no cell phone service at this bar.
Yeah,
so you really could. It was a nice touch to it, honestly.
We need like radio jammers whenever we throw parties.
Dude, we should start a bar with no cell phone service in it.
Ooh, now we're talking.
And call it, what do we call it?
The
Allship. Yeah. And it could go with the site. This is great. Okay. Speaking of, you mentioned mental health for a second. So maybe this question will be good to bring up. At Davin Steiger asked, what does Dave do when he is feeling sad?
Oh, wow. I usually talk to somebody that cares about me. Like either, whether my family, I'm really close to my family, or like, you know, a lot of my friends or actually all my friends are so supportive. And, but I also like, you know, in my life, I've done a lot of therapy. There's times where I've been on like medication for like deep depression stuff. But right now I'm actually in a really good spot, and like I'm not on medication, and I'm actually not in therapy right now. I just found like the Zoom therapy to be like a little like, it like threw me off a little bit. So I'm like taking a little break, but I think there's a difference between like being sad and being depressed. So I just want to make that distinction, because I think a lot of people that haven't experienced mental health issues, and especially things like depression, like they think it's when you're sad. And it's actually very, very different. It's like when you, like to me, depression manifests itself like, it's like when you can't see the upside of anything. Like it's a metaphor I was thinking about earlier, because I was talking on a Clubhouse room about mental health earlier. And I was like, to me, depression is like your shadow, and like a shadow always comes with light. So like, you're going to be in the light, and sometimes that light is amazing and you feel the warmth of the sun. Like today I was playing chess in the park with Ollie, and like the sun, just feeling the sun, I was like, spring is coming and we're going to be so good. But like the more the sun hits you, like the longer your shadow is too. And like, it's really kind of a compelling metaphor to me, because I know it's something that I'll always like carry with me, but like, it's up to me how much I let that like dominate my life. So when I'm feeling sad, I know that I'll get through it. When I'm feeling depressed, I'm more like, you know, I either need to like take steps or like change my lifestyle a little bit to like have a healthier kind of, you know, relationship with the world.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy you're in a really good spot right now, man.
I'm in a great spot right now, man. Yeah. I'm feeling it.
All right. On to the next question. At Chris Short 16 asked, does Dave feel like he has a special connection to anyone else named Dave that he meets? These questions are all over the place. I love this. We go straight from talking about something deep to talking about something. What's the opposite of deep? High?
Well, that's a whole different conversation.
All right. Yeah. Well, here we go. Well, tell me about this other Dave that you've met.
First of all, you're assuming I've met another Dave that I have some deep connection with. I don't think that's true. Yeah. No, I think names are pretty arbitrary, honestly. But I guess this guy knows about my secret club of Daves that I hang out with when nobody else is around. The cabal of Daves. No, I don't put much significance in stuff like that. Like, I just think it's a coincidence.
All right. I'm trying to think if I know some other Daves, but there's no,
not like me, baby.
Not like you, honestly. I don't know
any other Jeremys.
Do I know any other Jeremys? Actually, one of my other best friends' name is Jeremy, and she's not a guy. Her name is Jeremy Ann. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. You've met Jeremy, right?
I don't know. Have I?
Maybe.
Don't put me on the spot.
Okay, sorry. Maybe not. Yeah, I have one of my best friends' name is Jeremy, which is.
Is there any more orange wine?
Yeah. Can we get some more orange wine on deck, please?
Orange wine on deck.
Yeah.
Wait, what's up with this Jeremy though? Dig into that.
Jeremy? Yeah, she lives across the street from me. We've been yeah, I know. This is New York, man.
Bizarro, Jeremy.
We've always been friends, but we actually became really good friends over quarantine because she lives across the street from me. So we just would hang out. She's one of the people in my small circle. And yeah, I don't know. She's a great person and her name happens to be Jeremy. So L'chaim. All right, on to the next question from @Dane.Isaac, one of our best friends who also just happened to have a baby. Oh, Dave, you got your orange wine coming through right here.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to let you know it's 8:55. I know you said you had to be home at 9:30.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to keep all this in.
We have two more questions.
Okay, we're keeping all this in, by the way.
Okay.
What are you doing at 9:30, bro?
I'm watching a virtual movie premiere tonight of Cherry with Tom Holland.
Wow.
So it starts right at 9:30.
You and Tom Holland are going to watch Cherry?
No. That would be cool though.
Is this about what Spider-Man eats or something?
No, he's not Spider-Man. Oh.
Tom Holland isn't Spider-Man?
No, I mean he is, but not in this movie.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's I'm really excited for it, but it starts right at 9:30, so I gotta jet and watch that.
I get it, bro. You're bored. You're over it. It's fine.
No. I could record this podcast until tomorrow. I mean, you want to keep going?
Yeah.
I mean, we got more questions. All right, next question from @Dane.Isaac, who just had a baby.
By the way, can you scroll down? We have a Dane Isaac article up here as well.
Oh yeah, let's bring that up. So Dane Isaac asked, "Where's his beard?"
My beard's gone, bro.
Dude, so this is actually I've known Dave for 8 years. This is my
premiere as like a beardless man.
Yeah, so I've known Dave. This is your premiere on camera as a beardless man.
Right here. Yeah.
So I've known Dave for 8 years, and as of a month ago, you became beardless Dave. I've only known him as a beard Dave. Yeah,
so I just wanted I wanted to switch it up. I was feeling like I should be a clean cut boy for a minute. And I'm honestly really enjoying it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like a little like,
are you colder? It's winter. Are you a little colder?
No, I'm cool, man.
Okay. Do you get any I haven't had
my burning inspiration keeps me warm.
Does your neck burn though? Because it's stubble?
No.
Okay.
It's all good.
Cool.
I actually really like it. Like, when you put a tuxedo on.
I don't know if I've ever worn a tuxedo. Are they same as like,
you know what?
Yeah.
We're going to have an event next year.
Okay. Should we watch it? Should we wear a tuxedo while we watch Matrix? Or is that more of like Casino Royale?
Maybe like just movie? A suit.
Okay.
That's more like a suit movie.
Okay, cool. Should we wear glasses the whole time we watch that movie? Because don't they wear glasses in that movie?
Yeah, but it might just ruin the experience. Okay. So maybe not. But when you like dress up really nice, you kind of get into a different mindset. Okay. You're kind of like, feeling fresh.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. It's kind of like
gives you some confidence.
During quarantine, you dress up for working.
And so like I've had a pretty big beard for like a couple, 5 years. Okay.
It was a big beard.
But it's kind of cool to like just switch it up completely. And I feel like my mental changed a little bit too. And I just feel like a little bit like of a new, like new directions and stuff. And so it's cool. And like, I'll grow it out again. I'm definitely, I think crypto art Dave's gonna have a mustache though.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
I feel like that's going to be like the summer.
All right. Speaking of mustaches, I am non-denaninan thulo. Ooh, let me try to pronounce that one more time. I am non-denaninan anan thula asked.
Damn, that sounds like a spirit.
Yeah, I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing that right, but that's the best I can do right now. According to Dave, what's the best picture taken by Jeremy? It actually had nothing to do with mustaches. I don't know. I was guessing before I asked the question.
I was preparing my mustache answers, so I need a minute.
So
before I answer that, can I plug one thing?
Absolutely.
Which is Dane Isaac's project.
Oh yes, let's talk about that.
Dane did a really, really special project this year called Connecting While Disconnecting. And I'll let you guys read it for yourself if you want to go to the site, but like, it's a really like important thing to document because I feel like in a couple of years, we're not going to remember what this experience was like as much as we do in the moment. And there's Jerem right there. And so, let's link to this definitely. And he basically like took a really conscious effort to like document not only portraits of his friends on medium format film, but for every portrait, there's me with a beard, by the way, in case you want to see what I look like. But he also like recorded our feelings and our stories during this time. And I think that's like a big service to our community. And I just want to shout him out and say, you know, definitely follow Dane Isaac on Instagram, Dane.Isaac, because it's like, it was no small effort to bring all these people together in a year like this. Mm-hmm. You know, obviously like separately, like one at a time, right. but it was just really special. And I think he's doing important work, and I just want everybody to really like be able to engage with that work.
It's definitely important work. Please check it out.
What was the question? The other question again?
Oh, yeah, going back to the question that's less serious is what favorite
photo that you've taken?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Well, I don't, you know, it's just like, it's weird because like, I don't really like your work.
You don't memorize my photos, bro?
I just like, don't like your photography, but like, I'm kidding. To the listener, we're over here laughing. Yeah. If you're not watching, we have smiles on our faces. No, but in all seriousness, I'm not going to answer that specifically because I don't really like have an answer in mind, but I will say that one of my favorite things that you do is your Today I Photograph project. So I'm just gonna like include that whole, pull that up. I'm gonna include that whole project as my favorite because first of all, I love your main stuff and everything you're doing on Germ Cohen, but back to this idea of iteration and also not only iteration, but storytelling. I mean, look at this. Like how many days have you done this?
So the project started off by taking a portrait of one stranger every day, once a day. And I did that for almost 2 years in a row. I think it was 614 days in a row. And that's when I got like burnt out of doing it every day. So I still do it, but now I do it. When I do it,
look at you balling on the plain bar.
I interview them and I take a portrait.
What's his name again? Do you remember?
His name was, let's click on it. That was from our Thailand trip. Yeah. His name was, well, we could see if we click on it.
With the elephant? Yeah.
Yeah. Right
the
here.
Elephant, yeah. You know what an elephant looks like, right?
Oh, his name was 2. And this was portrait 690. And so every person I meet, I talk to them, have a little conversation, and I tell a little story about them. And most recently, I take a portrait of them, and then I also interview them. I think I might have interviewed 2.
Like on video too, right?
Yeah, on video.
So I mean, look, this is the best example of everything that's beautiful about photography. So like you're first of all, iteration, again, like you're doing it day after day after day after day. And then like you look back after 600 days and you had 600 interactions with all these people from all over the world. Like that's so beautiful. Yeah.
That's what makes photography special.
Right.
And I use the camera as a tool to connect with other people.
Right.
And this is an example of that.
Yeah. And it's fun. Something you just said reminds me of like my philosophy about what a camera is. Like to me, my camera is my master key. Like it's unlocked so many doors for me. And I know that if I'm good, like with my camera and I have a big enough like audience that can incentivize a brand or an institution to open their doors to me, then it's like, I'm just through that door. And like, I've done that all over the world. Like I've been alone in like some of the most famous places in the world. So I'm really like, to everyone listening, I mean, it's really like, like it's such an asset to like use your creativity as like a tool to unlock experiences.
Yeah. And speaking of doors, I think we're about to get kicked out of this door, so we should wrap this up. And I just want to say, Dave, thank you for being on this podcast, man. And with all your insight about life, photography, New York, dating, mental health, this has been a really good conversation, and I appreciate you sharing everything with you.
Well, thank you, Germ. I'm so honored to be on your podcast, and I can't wait to have you on my podcast.
Yes.
Coming up soon.
When are we doing that?
When are you guys free?
So before we go, Dave, plug yourself. Where can people find you?
If you want to connect with me online, there's a couple different ways to do it. I would say that start with my Instagram, which is dave.krugman, Krugman. From there, you can find my other accounts, Adams of Eve, Secret Street, and allships.co. And online, you can find me, davekrugman.com is a good place to start. I'm Dave_Krugman on Twitter. And then if you want to see my efforts to kind of like amplify others and build community like outside of my own brand, which I'm personally most excited about, definitely look up allships.co or email me at dave@allships.co.
Cool. Yeah. Highly recommend following Dave. He's a good follow. And thank you, Dave, for being on this podcast today. Really appreciate you and sharing all your insights on life, photography, New York, mental health, all of it. It's been a good one.
My pleasure.
Cool. All right. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Have a good one and tune in for the next one. Peace.